Hey guys, Kurt here of ENK Garage, and we're back with another video. Unfortunately, we don't have a tool haul today. I know, how can the guy that buys all the tools not bring you guys a tool haul? And it's been 2 weeks since our last video. We've just been really busy lately. We've been running the landscape business. At this time of year, we start really gearing up and getting out there. We got a lot of jobs in the works. We're on a job right now, quite a big one. It's been a lot of work, but we're going to slowly get back into things. I'm hoping to get to the flea market soon. My local flea market opens up this weekend. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. They say it might, so we'll see how that goes. But let's get into the purpose of today's video. We're going to do a little bit of what I'm going to call tool talks, and mainly because we're a tool channel here, I'm going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions in the comments here for the YouTube channel. So I got a little list here, and we'll go through them one by one. Number one, where do we buy all of these tools? Well, we've got a couple of different methods to get out there and search for good deals. I mean, number one, I just mentioned flea markets. You know, you got to try it. Some flea markets are a bust. Some of them are really great, and you never know what you're going to get. So flea markets is one of my favorites. It's a lot of fun. You get to go visit a lot of different vendors, a lot of different variety, and you never know what you're going to find, and you can buy individual pieces instead of buying a large lot and getting stuck with stuff that you don't want. Related to that is tag sales and estate sales, garage sales, rummage sale, whatever you want to call it. I like tag sales, but I don't normally go out of my way to try to find them. So if I'm driving along on the weekend and I see a tag sale sign that's like right there, I'll pull in, I'll give it a look. Most of the times it's a bust. Most of the times it's just not what I'm looking for, or the prices might not be right. But I do like to go to the community tag sales. So in some of our local towns, the community sets up a certain date or a weekend where everybody in the town that wants to have a sale signs up, and then you can, most of the time you can get a map. Nowadays with the computers and all this, some of them even have like an app, and you can go and visit a lot of tag sales in one day. And that always ends up working out because maybe I'll visit 30 tag sales, and even if I only find stuff at 5 of them, but it was good stuff at great prices. So that works out for me too. Estate sales I try to avoid. Most of the time they're run by a company that tends to price things where they feel, you know, is the most money they're going to get. And for tools, a lot of times I find they try to lot things together. So they'll take somebody's toolbox, but they won't sell it as a unit. They'll separate it out and they'll sell, like, you got to buy all the wrenches, and maybe most of them are junk. And again, with the prices, but it can be really good. You can get lucky. I know a lot of guys do. There are some guys on YouTube that even hit up the estate sales and they do well. So I've gotten a few, but I tend to really just kind of look past them and continue on with my other methods of finding these deals. Number one most popular great deal thing that we got is Facebook Marketplace. That has worked out really well for us. We tend to look for large lots of tools. You've seen them in our tool hauls. We want to get boxes and boxes full of tools. And you are buying a lot of stuff at a small amount of money per item. Usually works out for us. But if you're not going to be reselling, or you don't need all the tools, you might end up with a lot of stuff you don't want. There are smaller lots on Facebook. We have bought some of those as well. $100 tool lots, $50 tool lots. You got to be the first person to respond to the ad. Most people will respect that. Some of them will not. A lot of Facebook deals never happen. That just people don't link up. Some people don't answer the phone when they're supposed to. But if you put enough time into the app and you're persistent and you're patient, you'll find some good deals. Sometimes it can be dry for a while. We won't find a lot of stuff on Facebook for weeks, maybe month, 2 months. It happens. And sometimes all the good deals pop up at once and we can't find the time or the money to go buy them all at the same time. So it's out there. With Facebook, there's also Craigslist. Basically the same thing. Expect a little less variety and not as many ads, but people still do use Craigslist, so we have done that as well. And I think last on my list is auctions. So auctions can be good or bad. We do follow a local auction site near us where we can find deals on bulk lots. We've done it only a few times. You gotta, sit on the site at night and bid, and you might bid too much, you might not bid enough and not win it. So, you're kind of gambling. You just got photos to look at. So it can be really good, but you can also get burned. So question number 2, what do you do with the tools? Well, we love tools. We keep any tool that we think we're going to use, and the tools that we don't need, they get passed on through eBay. So we have an eBay store, ENK Garage, and we sell a lot of tools. I actually have trouble buying enough inventory to keep the store stocked. So it really does work out well. eBay has been really great for us. It's a lot of work, but that's what happens with the stuff that we don't keep. What are your favorite tools? Well, if we're talking about individual types of tools, I love adjustable wrenches. We've got a collection up here on the board. I love wrenches of all kind. We use them all the time. But I really love anything that can get the job done for the jobs that we're doing. So we are landscapers, so we do use kind of simple garden tools and a lot of hammers and stuff like that. The adjustable wrenches are great for fixing things on the go. But a lot of times our equipment breaks down, trucks break down, and we end up fixing them over there in the shop. So we have a lot of mechanics tools. We love Snap-on, but we also appreciate Matco a little bit. SK, Proto, Williams, Craftsman. There's a lot of great brands out there. We have all different brands in our toolbox. Of course, Snap-on is like a nice little gem. When you find it for a good deal, we keep it. But to fill in the gaps, we have got all the other brands in there. And really, a majority of our tools here in the garage are mechanics tools. We have a little bit of carpentry tools, and we do have some machinist tools. So we have gotten into machining through buying a lathe and a mill, and we repair our own equipment, make custom parts, and just fun little projects here and there, kind of like hobby machining. So we have a lot of machinist tools as well. That's what really gets us excited, because that's like a really fun hobby for us. So machinist tools, mechanics tools, and basic do-it-all tools like adjustable wrenches and screwdrivers and pliers. A lot of people say that we do well on eBay, and they want to know, can they sell on eBay and will they have the same success? You definitely can, but don't expect it to be easy, and don't expect to take home all the money. When you see something on eBay listed for $100, $200, that's what the person is asking. A lot of the times people will list high and kind of wait, come down on the price, or send an offer to somebody, so that $100 item might become $80, or the $200 item might become $150. Sometimes it sells for the high price, but a lot of the times we'll take a lower offer or we'll reduce the price over time. Then you have eBay fees. eBay takes about 15% fees. If you want to sell things quickly, you'll promote them. We run a 10% fee on that, so there's a 10% promotion fee that comes off the top as well. And then you have shipping, and shipping is not cheap these days. Even to ship a small wrench or a socket still costs us about $4 on average, and shipping something like a hammer or a large adjustable wrench, $7, $8, toolkits $10, $15, $20, toolboxes $20, $40, $50. It depends where it's going. It depends on the weight and the size. So for what things sell on eBay, we tend to take home kind of half that, and then you got to remember you paid for the tool, and you'll never sell all of the tools or all the items that you have. So some of the items will sit in your inventory and go to either just waste, or you can sell them in an auction lot or give them away or donate them, or whatever you want to do when something is just not desirable enough to sell. So our end profit is somewhere around 30% of what we list it for eBay and what we actually take home. So keep that in mind. Remember, 30% you know, that's a very conservative number. You got to buy shipping supplies, and there's other fees that may pop up here and there. So that's that. A lot of people ask when they see a video, they see something they really like, and they ask, can I buy that tool? Most of the time, yes, we do keep some of the tools. I try to announce in the videos, I try to remember to tell you guys, you know, oh, I'm keeping this one, just so you know, so you don't have to waste the time trying to search for it on the eBay store. Popular items might sell fast. So if you go to the eBay store and you really wanted this rare wrench or something very unique, it might have already sold. And sometimes I might not have listed it yet. So if you are looking for something and you don't see it, you can shoot me a message. I'll see if it's still available. I'll let you know whether or not. And if I'm going to list it in the future, you know, I'll definitely say, hey, you know, I'll get that listed for you next week. How do you clean your tools? Well, I've got the major equipment we got right behind us. We have 2 vibratory tumblers. We started out with the 5-pound from Harbor Freight, and we have recently upgraded to the 18-pound. In the 5-pound, I took the Tool Bandit's advice and we got stainless steel shot. Now, the stainless steel shot that's in here, it does a really great job, and it doesn't really leave any dust behind like the other type of media that you get at Harbor Freight. But there are a couple downsides to it. Number one is it's very, very heavy, and it's very, very expensive. So it cost us, I think, like $200 just to fill this up. And with the large amount of weight that's in there, you know, it's heavier, and we may not be getting, you know, as much vibration as we are getting with the big guy using the lightweight stuff from Harbor Freight. This is just the Central Machinery tumbler media. This is what we use, the rust cutting abrasive resin. It's like these little pyramid triangles. So for the big guy, we know we would never be able to fill this up with stainless steel shot. It would just cost way too much money, and it would be, you know, like 100 pounds or more. So we use this stuff. Very cheap, very affordable, does a great job. It does leave a little bit of that dusty surface on the tools, but that's not really a big deal, because after we run the tools through the vibrator, we run them through the ultrasonic cleaner. This is the Vevor 30-liter ultrasonic cleaner. We started off with the small one, the 10-liter, and it was so awesome that we immediately upgraded to the 30-liter. I think this is about $200. You just put in, we just use the normal, you know, generic brand purple degreaser. Put that in there with some water. This holds about 5 gallons of water. You get a basket inside, so you can put your parts in the basket, dip them in. We run it for most tools at the highest temperature, just because it does the best job. But when we put stuff in that might be more sensitive, like screwdrivers with plastic handles, or hammers that might have, you know, some of these, you know, rubber handles, we'll turn the temperature down. We had to kind of test that out by putting some kind of junk tools in there and see what temperatures work best. So ultrasonic cleaner is a big plus. In the other room, we have the wire wheel. That is a big one. Small stuff we can put in here. Even the big tumbler, we're able to put most standard size wrenches in here. Adjustable wrenches, steel handle pliers. So it works out really well, but the big stuff goes to the wire wheel, and sometimes you might even have to do some touch-up. How did you get started? Well, I've always loved tools. I have a passion for tools. I've loved them forever, even since I was a kid. But what really got us started for buying and selling tools was actually when Nick bought this house. He bought it through his family. His uncle had passed away, and he left behind kind of a hoard of everything. He was a collector and a hoarder. So he had a lot of stuff in here. The room was full to the top. There was a goat's path in the middle. Nick actually has a video on his channel, I'll put a link in it below, where he kind of runs by the history and does a little shop tour in here. So that's cool. If you want to check that out, it'll be down below. But basically, we got all these tools. and there was more than we could use, 10, 20, 30, 40 copies of some stuff. So we started selling it on eBay. Why throw it out? What are you going to do with it? So we started the eBay store, and we knew that the tools that were here were eventually going to run out, after a couple months of listing and all that. So I started looking and trying to find other ways to buy and sell tools, because I had just so much fun and passion for it. Finding these old tools that I didn't know about, these old brands, or I didn't know what the tool was, and doing the research, and it was just a lot of fun. So I love the treasure hunt of learning about and finding these old rare tools. How long have we been doing it? That was about 2 years ago that we started doing that. I've been doing eBay for longer. Back when I was in college, probably 8, 9 years ago, I started an eBay store, and we were actually selling used car parts on there. At the time, we were buying up these old broken Subarus, and we take them apart and resell the parts, large parts on Craigslist, small parts on eBay. So I started the eBay store then, and that was helpful because when we started doing the tool thing, I kind of already had an established store with good feedback. Been a while since I'd used it, but it was kind of a jump start. Do we do this full time? No, the tool business is a side hobby. In the winter, we kind of almost do it full time. We do snowplow for the landscape business, so that is priority. But when we're not out there plowing snow or treating driveways with salt, we're in here finding tools on Facebook, cleaning tools, and listing tools. So during the winter, sometimes we'll put 30, 40 hours a week each into the tool business. In the summer, it's kind of just down to rainy days or whenever we have a open slot in the schedule. Maybe a job got canceled or postponed, we're waiting on materials, or again, if there's just bad weather, we'll sit in the garage and we'll get back to the tool business. And last question, what is the ENK Garage? So kind of back to how we used to sell the used car parts on eBay. At that time, long time ago, I needed a name for the eBay store that sounded professional. I didn't want it to look like just a random seller. I wanted it to look like a store, like a reputable name. So at the time, we didn't have a garage, but we were NK through NK Landscaping, and we started the eBay store under the ENK Garage name. It felt suitable for guys that were selling used car parts. Name sounds good, it just stuck. So when we started the YouTube channel here, now that Nick has his garage, that's what the ENK Garage is all about.
What does NK stand for?
NK stands for Nick and Kurt. Those are our names, and this is our business. So back to a little bit about the garage. This used to be a garage, and then Nick's grandparents added on a garage over here attached to the house. So this became 2 separate rooms. So through the door over here, there's what we call the shipping room. That's where we keep all our inventory, but it's also a room that we kind of run our business out of, the NK Landscaping business. So we do our meetings in there, we do our estimates. It's kind of like an office. This we call the tool room because it's full of tools. It's basically a workshop. And then over there is the 2-car attached garage, which is truly the ENK Garage. So in here, this is where we do our repairs. It's not a big garage. We don't have a lift or anything crazy like that. So if we're doing something kind of big, we'll do it outside. But in here, we have 2 bays, perfect for vehicles, small trucks. Our machinist equipment is over here. We have our Victor 1630 lathe and our Bridgeport milling machine. The wire wheel that we use all the time is over here. We got some welding equipment, oxalate, acetylene torch, kind of our diagnostic kits and specialty stuff, our toolboxes, and this is the garage. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any more questions, and if you want to see another video like this, we could do it again, especially if we get a lot of questions. Maybe we'll do it again in a few weeks. So thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.